Hello and welcome to today's 20 by 3 session on using Mac QuickTime for video and audio feedback in Brightspace. So as part of the Personalized Video Feedback Initiative, we're showcasing different audio and video options that you can use to provide video feedback within the Brightspace classroom. And today I'm focusing on a Mac OS native free software, QuickTime, technically QuickTime Player, that's found in every Mac operating system. So what is QuickTime Player? Well, as the name suggests, the software application was developed to play video and audio files. But over the years, Apple has developed it so that it now has recording capabilities. So now I'm going to show you how to find QuickTime Player on your computer. In the Finder, go to the search bar on the upper right and type in QuickTime or Quick, and it will find it fairly quickly. When you first open the application, it will show you your files. If you want to do a recording, just click Done. And under the File menu, you will see your different options. There's New Movie Recording, New Audio Recording, and New Screen Recording. New movie recording will bring up a webcam, and you will record yourself. So this is similar to Video Note in Brightspace. New audio is only an audio recording, and then new screen recording will record your screen. It's this last option that I'll be focusing on primarily in this training. So click on New Screen Recording. You'll see a recording button here. As I'm speaking, you can see the audio is being registered. You'll notice a little arrow next to the recording button. If you click on that, it identifies different microphone choices. You'll obviously want to choose a microphone, but maybe you won't under certain circumstance. So there's none. There's the built-in microphone. I have my iPhone plugged in, and so it's showing that. Another option here that you'll want to click is to show mouse clicks, or maybe you won't. Showing mouse clicks basically identifies for the student where your cursor is on the screen. So all my options are set here. Before I want to record, however, I'm going to bring up the screen that I'd like to record. Okay, I brought up my screen. Now I'm going to go back to QuickTime, and I'm going to click Record. So before it actually starts recording, you'll get this message here. So nothing is recording at this moment. It says click to record the full screen, and that just means basically a quick click and the entire screen will be recorded. This is helpful if you're doing a software tutorial, if you want to piece together different clips into one longer video, which I'll show you in a little bit. You might also want to only record a part of the screen. And to do that, it says here, drag to record part of the screen. And I'll show you that in just 1 second. Before I do that, though, I just want to point out this last line, which says, end recording by clicking the stop button in the menu bar. So here is the stop button up here, and you can see that it's gray, which means that it's not recording right now. What I've noticed is that when I start recording, it takes a moment for this grayed out button to turn black. And so I always take a moment, a pause before I start speaking, and make sure that this is black. And so when I start recording, I want you to pay attention to that, just so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and drag a part of the screen. And like other video editing software, you can drag the edges, move this around. to get the dimensions or the part of the screen that you want. One thing that's kind of a bummer is that you don't have feedback here of the size that you're creating. So I just don't know how many pixels dimension-wise this rectangle is. Okay, it hasn't started recording yet. It has this start recording button. I'm just going to go ahead and start recording now and look at the button up there. So as you can see, it takes just a moment for this to turn black, and now I know I'm really recording. One of the drawbacks of this QuickTime player is that unlike a software like Screencast-O-Matic, once you stop the recording, it's a distinct file. You can insert another clip, but you can't easily start recording again. So that's something to keep in mind if you're using this tool, is just plan on recording to the end, basically. And if it doesn't work out, then you just re-record. So I'm now going to stop the recording. And it's brought it up onto my screen. At this point, you might want to save the recording. You don't need to, and I'll show you why. But I just want to point out some aspect of this. So this is test recording. Now, if I go into my Finder and I look at the file that I just saved, test recording, you'll see that it's a QuickTime movie. Now, this is a type of file that cannot be used in Brightspace effectively. So once you're all set with your recording, you'll need to export it into a different option. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment. So in QuickTime, I want to show you a really nice feature before we export this recording. So if you go under Edit, there's something called Trim here. And this allows you to, as it says, trim the recording. So maybe you want to shave off the beginning of the recording or the end, and you can play from any point so that you can kind of get an exact sense of where you want to trim to. And then you just go ahead and click Trim, and then you're all set. Once you're ready to save the recording to upload into Brightspace, you want to use the Export feature under the File menu. And you want to select iPad, iPhone, iPod Touch, and Apple TV. What I have found is that the smallest size, the iPod Touch and iPhone, when you make the video full screen, it's a little degraded in quality. And it's actually a lot better in quality if you're on the iPad, iPhone, or Apple TV. However, you can see that the size is significantly larger. So this was just a few minutes, right? Or not even, it looks like 45 seconds, and it's already 45 megabytes. So keep that in mind, that if you're going on for a significant amount of time, this might be a really large file. You will be able to delete it at the end of your process. So don't be too concerned about that. Just make sure you have enough space on your computer just to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now, it can kind of take a little bit of time. This is a really short clip, and it's already taking a little bit of time. So in terms of process, these moments of downtime, I often open up a notepad and I'll start writing to a student what the text will be that I'll include with the video. And that might help with your process so you're not just waiting around. Before we discuss how to get your file into Brightspace, I just want to share with you another feature that you can explore within QuickTime. This feature allows you to insert a video at the end of your recording. So maybe you do a screen share, but you realize that a student really needs help doing something very specific, and you've created a previous video tutorial on this feature. So if you go to add clip to the end, you can also split the clip and then put it somewhere in the middle, but I think adding it at the end might be the easiest. And you can place a previously made video. So here I'm putting in my Finding Artworks tutorial, and it places it at the end. So you can see it there. So that's a nice feature that you can use. So now I want to show you how you can include your video within Brightspace. So I'm in my sandbox. We all should have an access to our sandbox. This is a great place to experiment. And I'm clicking on Reply to Thread. And over here, you see the Insert Stuff icon. So this is not just in the discussion area where I'm in, but it's also in the gradebook and in announcements. You should see that icon. And to insert stuff, I'm just clicking on Computer. I'm choosing File. I'm in the Downloads area. And I'm clicking on Test Recording Export, which we had exported earlier. And I'm uploading. And again, this is another one of those moments where it might take a little bit of time, and where I'll open up my notes and maybe type a little bit if I'm waiting. Now, this is important. You'll want to put in something here. So feedbacks to Samantha, that's what I often do. You want to have a link text there. And then what you also need to include is a width. 700 pixels is what we recommend. You don't need to worry about height. It does the math for you. And you get a preview of it down there. And then you insert. And the student can play back the video here. Click here to make it full screen. And there you go. So now I'm back in QuickTime, and I just want to show you very quickly the audio recording. The audio recording is quite similar to the screen recording. You want to select your microphone, and you have two qualities. You have high quality and maximum quality. Maximum quality is incredibly large. It creates an incredibly large file, and I don't think it's required for our students. So I would select high quality, which is actually the default. I'm just going to put away this screen here so it's not confusing. So you, like before, you click on the recording button and it's recording me now. And then once I'm done, I can click stop. I can play it back to make sure it sounds good. And as I said earlier, you have an option to save, but you actually don't need to save necessarily. You can just go ahead and export the file. And it's ready for you to insert into the classroom. Once in the classroom, including the audio file is very similar to including the video file. Again, the insert stuff icon, my computer, choose file, and there you have an audio clip. It takes a moment to upload. It might play automatically and you just want to stop it there. You're going to be asked for link text. There's alternate text. This is about ADA compliance. You can include that here to if a student, especially if a student has problems with this embedded file, they'll be able to see that this is an audio file. So you might want to say, audio feedback. If you consider it decorative, not important to the student, you can click that. That grays out both of these text options. I think it's a better practice to just put them in case students have issues with this audio file. Audio start is not clicked automatically, which I think is good. And you can go ahead and click insert. And as you can see, it shows up as this little bit of a weird QuickTime icon here. This is not what a student will see. So I'm going to go ahead and click post. And you can see that there's a player that's here. It's a little strange looking. I'm not sure if it looks better on other people's computers or not, but it is functional. And one thing, though, I should prepare you is that once you post it, it plays automatically. So just be aware of that. And that's how you insert the audio function. So to recap, in terms of using QuickTime for video feedback initiative, QuickTime is good because it's automatically built into the Mac OS. You don't need to download or install any new software. It's fairly easy to use. The drawbacks, however, are that you need to export it in a specific format, that the file is quite large once it's exported, although when you're giving individualized feedback to the classroom, in the classroom, once you've uploaded that file, you can delete it off of your computer. The other issue is that because you're dealing with large files, you might have a little bit of downtime when you are exporting and also when you're uploading, and you can take advantage of that time and write some comments to your students, but it still makes the process a little bit slower. So that's all. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at hmiller@aii.edu. And thank you so much for listening.